Hello and welcome to another episode of Despite the Challenges. I'm host Ritu Chopra, a show where we showcase people with an amazing stories who, despite their enormous challenges, impeding circumstances, not only they overcome them, but they contribute to the society in so many ways and inspire us. A child with a special need requires you to be a special kind of parent. Today, my guest is Manisha Lad. Manisha is a parent of a young man with autism. She is a founder and director of Akhil Autism Foundation. Let's hear more from Manisha. Manisha, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ritu, for giving me this opportunity.
You're very welcome. Tell us your story.
Well, as you rightly said, that a special need child makes you a special mom, a special parent. So, and Akhil is our only son who has autism. He's 14 years old now, and he has completely inspired us and made us realize that how special we are and how blessed we are to have him in our life. So he was a very healthy baby till 18 months actually, and right after his first birthday he started regressing.
Okay.
And he used to have his great eye contact, he would respond to his name, and after 18 months he just started regressing and he went all into his own world right in front of my eyes. So as everybody comes to US for better opportunities and for better career, we came to, got married and we came to US. And he, right after his diagnosis, I was working with companies like Siebel and MetLife, and it was a very booming career that time. But after his diagnosis, I decided to quit the whole career and I decided to completely jump into the ocean of autism.
Okay. How did you find out that's he's diagnosed with autism at age 18 months of age, right? How much you knew about autism?
You know, around by 8th month, like a mother always has an instinct, and somehow I had an instinct that something is not right with my child.
Okay.
And I was always let down by everybody, like, oh, you want him to do things faster, you know, he will take his own pace of time. And right after his first birthday, when he was completely regressing in front of my eyes and had completely stopped responding to his name, then around people started coming and telling me, oh yeah, you're right, something is not right about him. And finally at 18 months we got an official diagnosis.
Okay. And it must have come as a shock as a parent. You don't want to...
I had no idea what autism is. When I went to the doctor and she said, she used the word autism and I heard artism. So I said, autism? She said, no, autism. And then she just hands me a paper in my hand, pamphlet showing it's a lifelong disability, and at the most he will require a care for the whole life, or he will be just doing some work in some kind of a grocery store. And it was not kicking to me that it's really that serious. So for a week or so, I think I was just taking it very lightly. But my husband was reading and he was getting nervous. So as he was getting nervous, I was getting very anxious. And then finally I started reading about it. The more we were reading, the more I was into denial stage. But
Obviously.
very quickly we passed to that denial stage, and we decided that I did go through the guilt, I did go through the anger, but the good part about both of us, that we never went into a depression, because very quickly we learned that it is in our hands.
Yes.
And
yes.
We decided into action.
Okay. And he's still about less than 2 years old.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes, 18 months, and because he was diagnosed so early, and we are in US, so definitely there are lots and lots of resources. The only thing that time I was doing is calling a lot of people, talking to the parents who had children with autism, talking to organizations, and I would see that many organizations had a lot of information on the website, but that time I really didn't had any one-on-one support rather than parents to guide me through, or nobody had like a plan for me, like, okay, now you do this, now you do that. only thing it was like all the best and hopefully he'll get better and better and better.
And hope is always there.
Hope is always there.
Always there. So what were the turning points at that time?
So as we started looking into his intervention, the big challenge was to educate ourselves. Okay, we did utilize the resources from the government, which is good because we are in US, and he started getting better.
Better in a sense of
his eye contact.
Okay.
His eye contact got better. He started interacting with us. We started teaching him the sign language. But again, at the age of 3, he started going to school, and we found that his progress was very plateaued.
Okay.
So we had done a lot of educational based therapies during that time. We used to have 40 hours of therapy for him every week. 40 hours of therapy, of constantly being with him, playing with him, teaching him sign language.
But so you had to learn the sign language
I had
yourself.
to learn the sign language. I had to educate myself. We had a team of people. They would teach him something. Then I had to follow up, and I was to make sure that everybody is following the same thing, so the child doesn't get confused.
Okay.
And but then once he started the school, we started seeing the things which he was learning just with us. He would perform only for us, but he would not perform in the school.
Interesting.
So that made us to look into another piece of puzzle.
Okay.
Like, what else do we need to do?
Okay.
Yeah. So then another journey started of completely looking into autism. The whole perception changed from only education to also to some of the medical issues which he had internally, which were affecting his behaviors.
Okay. And talk about a little bit what he performed or he remembered, knew to interact with you or with parents, and what he did at school. What it led to then? Did you address that with the school staff, teachers, caretakers?
Right, we did, and it is a big challenge, I would say. Like with autism, the mother involved, a parent gets so much involved with the child, and 24/7 the autism is always in the mind, and you start realizing every bit of a behavior, every bit of his expression, and then if you have to go and tell this to an educated professional who comes with a certificate, then that's where the problem starts. Like, okay, we have our books, we have our certificate, we have our knowledge, and we know what to do, but hey, it's not like a cookie cutter, like 1 + 1 is equal to 2.
Yes, absolutely.
So it was a big challenge. It was not easy.
So it's both. You're looking at the well-being of the child, you're looking at ways to help the child, at the same time you're emotionally torn apart.
Exactly.
I know child can do this.
I know, and it's like you go and observe that child in the school, and it's a different environment, and it's a different child altogether. A child might be signing something, but the teacher or an aide will not understand what he's signing. So there were a lot of gaps.
Okay.
So I still think it takes a big army, and everybody has to have the same kind of expectation and execution, and getting everybody on the same page. It's a big challenge, especially when you work outside your house, when the child goes into the expert's hand.
So how did you overcome this? Did you successfully manage this with the school staff to give some tries to see what you are telling them?
Of course.
Maybe this works. Okay, so tell us.
Of course. So I used to write a lot of big notes into the books, in the communication book. This is how I do. This is what I do. But hey, the child is the performer. He has to go and show them the results. And in spite of that, we were not seeing the results. And when we saw the school system, even though it was a private school, it was still not gelling with us. We had to pull him out of that school and put it into another school. So we had to educate ourselves into different educating approaches.
Okay.
That if this approach doesn't work, then look into the another approach and see if it works.
Okay. So once you went through more than one approach, I'm sure there were multiple. So this would have given you a lot of hope as well.
It did, but it was still like till the age of 11, we still had a child who was with us, but who had a zero expressing language.
Okay.
who had zero academics. None of the school could get the academics out from him, and they kept on telling he does not know his letters, he does not know his numbers, and that was really like we were just finding what else can we do. But the turning point did come into our life, and he started going to school, which is completely open-minded, and they started using communication system with him, and that's how the world opened up. And the whole
Could you explain a little bit for the viewers when you say communication system? What does that involve?
right. So when our son we teach him something, he perceives everything through just his two senses, ears and eyes.
Okay.
With that, he would make a perception,
Okay.
but his body would not move
Okay.
as per his mind.
Okay.
So it was very hard for him to express like we express. So
Absolutely understood.
right. So his hand, even though if he wanted to take this water, it was still very hard for him to move his hand to the cup, because there was a lot of execution, slow timing issue.
Okay.
So once they started using iPad with him, and supported typing was one of the approach they used.
Okay.
They would little bit touch him and ask him questions, and he would answer. So he started then telling a lot about his internal senses, about his internal consciousness. Then she told, the teacher just called me one day and said that this is what he typed, and I said, I don't believe it. She said, come over and see. I saw that, and then I said, okay.
Can you share what he typed?
He typed. It was his very first session, and he said that it is good to express by talking like this, but I now want to go on a long ride in my van to my house.
Wow. You must have teared up.
It was like unbelievable, because till 11 to 12 years, every educating professional who call them as experts have told us that no, he does not know his letters, he doesn't know it. So we don't have any data which shows A was taught to Akhil and A was mastered by Akhil. B was taught to Akhil and B was mastered by Akhil. Or number 1, number 2, or number 3. We don't have any mastery records. And here this boy is typing whole sentences. So once...
That is amazing.
So I took that approach and I started working with him in the house. And he right away in 2 months, he started communicating with us. And one day he
Through iPad?
Yes.
And he types
independently.
Independently.
Now he's getting much better. So we had to hold him a little bit here. And again, it was very, very, very controversial. So again, it was like two things that whether should we believe it, should we not believe it. But as a mother, I had decided, and I was a very firm believer, and I tell this to everybody, if a mother, no mother on this earth wants any child to have any issues or any problems. Everybody wants a healthy, normal baby.
Yes.
But if a mother instinct is telling you that something is wrong with my child, then why can't all these treatments go through those instincts? And that's what I decided. I said, no, my instinct says this is going to work, and I'm going to give my 100%.
Okay.
And even if I get a 5% improvement, we used to enjoy.
Yeah, at least that instinct is worth looking into, giving it a try, then dismissing it altogether.
Yes.
Okay.
And then one day he just was very upset with me, and I said, Akhil, what happened? He started hitting me. I said, Akhil, why are you upset? What happened? And he said that I am telling you, he typed that I'm telling you in my mind and you're not listening. I said, what did you say? So he told that I want you to put the DVD in the. So I said, okay. I said, how did you say? So he says that I think in pictures. And then I said,
Could you say that again?
I think in pictures.
I think in pictures. I just want this for my viewers. So many parents or people who may have a child in their life that may have some issues, this is amazing. The child expressing via iPad and telling parent that I think in pictures.
Yeah, but then I did not stop there.
Wow.
I did not stop there. I started taking everything any small book, started sitting down with him and asking him questions. He would look at the picture and he would make a perception, and then we would read about it. And then one day I told him, so what is number 5? And he said, number 5 is to give 5 things. I said, okay. So I kept 10 things then. I said, now give me 5 blocks. And he kept on giving me. So I said, why? Why didn't you stop? My brain does not give me the instructions to stop. So, these children are observed or judged by the outward behaviors.
Yes, unfortunately. Yes.
That's right. Okay, that's unfortunately, yeah, I agree with you. And based on that, we all think that we know a lot. But after going into our son's world and after that again requires a very strong relationship between a child and a parent, or a child and a caregiver. They choose whom I have to communicate and whom I don't have to.
At this time, how the school staff is changing their approach with his development?
Yes, so the school which we have, like I wish we would have learned the perception about autism, what we had told, and right now it's a very different. So school taught us a different perception of autism, that autism is something like a complete mind and a body disconnect. So the brain does not communicate with both of them simultaneously. And once they started telling this, it was a big eye opener for me, and I had till the time I had almost lost my hope with any of the schools, because we had changed 3rd schools, and he himself would say that they don't believe me, my teachers don't believe me, they don't
and
believe
he's
me.
communicating through his writing.
Yeah, and he would actually tell the director that you think I have autism. I don't have autism.
Now with all this discovery that you have, and which is very positive, that you are able to see his mind, his word through pictures, what do you anticipate or vision for him?
I think he is here for a reason. He's a firm believer. I think on his 14th birthday, which happened on May 3rd, I took all his photographs right from his birth till now and compiled them and told him happy birthday, and I put it into Facebook saying he's my mentor, and I want to thank him. For 14 years, it took a while for me to realize that he doesn't have a long way to go. I have a long way to go.
Absolutely.
To
There's a lot of
understand him and listen to him and implement what he has to say. So he is very crystal clear with what he wants to do.
And you are the agent to implement
I'm just an agent to fight for him, because I love him. I'm his mom, and to tell the whole world. And whatever the cosmic energy or the God has decided for us to do the job. And another thing is, whenever he gets any of his therapies, he want to offer it to his friends. So he is a giving, because he thinks that I feel better, so all my friends will feel better.
Oh, wow.
And this is another inspiration behind us to start this Akhil Autism Foundation.
Very good segue into that. And then you founded
in 2008.
2008.
After his 7th birthday, we launched it.
Okay.
Because whenever we would go to India, we would say that parents are really struggling a lot, and they don't have many resources. So the first thing is we got one of the doctors from India trained in US.
Okay.
Who is very open-minded, and then after that we have more than 600 parents all over the India, our members, and they have started on the first line of treatment.
Okay. And the treatment is given there?
It's like a vitamin shot.
Okay.
Which is compounded in US, and then it is shipped from US to India.
Okay.
And more than 100 children are on those shots.
Okay.
And
that
they're
is
getting
for
better vitamin shots. Yeah.
Okay. And besides that, any other educational activities, knowledge transfer, sport-based type of program your foundation is doing?
Yes, we do a lot of webinars.
Okay.
And then we have 2 programs now. One is for the education and communication, because that will work on the mind. And another program is a complete neurosensory motor reflex integration work, which works on the body.
Okay.
So while child is getting, his brain is maturing, he need to have some kind of a tool to express, and this is one of the approach. So we have two doctors who are trained. We have a grant of $23,000 given to one of the organization in India to do a research.
Okay.
And we did international conferences, and recently we did one international camp on the education and communication method.
And that was here in New Jersey?
That was in India.
Okay.
And very recently in May, we did a very first workshop, 2-day workshop on neurosensory motor integration. 30 parents educated, 16 children were evaluated to find which reflexes are an issue, and out of that 15 parents were sponsored from our foundation.
Oh wow, good work.
It was a huge success.
Good work, congratulations.
Thank you.
So with the education, just like for this webinar or 2-day workshop that you mentioned, people who are learning these, do you provide them continued support afterward they're done with the workshop? So do you have anything in place for their continued support or education, knowledge transfer, or to give them support basically?
We do have Facebook group where we all mothers communicate. Then we are planning to have meetups.
Okay.
And every month we will meet up and we will discuss our children's issues, or we will discuss, and we are planning to have we really want to form low cost educating and treatment centers with research. And if that model works here, we would like to take that to India.
Okay, very good, very good. I know that there is so much need all over the place, and especially as you talk about India and the diagnosis of autism and the society's perception and a mindset, there is a long way to go.
Long way to go.
So there's a lot of effort needed. Tell me a little bit more about something else that really inspires you, the work that you do. You left your corporate career, you were in IT, doing well, and now that's part of the history. And how you find yourself balancing that this has become your main goal?
So the first thing as a mother, and first thing it's like my personality. Whatever I do, even if I'm cooking in the kitchen, I want to cook like a chef. If I'm dancing, I want to dance like a dancer. So that's my expectations from myself are very high, because the way I think I've been brought up. I'm a very positive and very optimistic person, and I'm a very problem solver. I don't take no as an answer very easily. And I chase my dreams. So
more people should do that.
So with those positive points, of course there are a lot of negative points, but we can only work so much. So when I quit my career, and again following my instincts and following my pictures, we accepted his autism, that he's come for an inspiration, and he's come for us to give back to some community. Comes into the back, and I knew that I'm going to show his movie somewhere. I'm going to show his his recovery somewhere, and I used to keep on recording him. So that led, now what, my instinct knows that he's going to get better at one point, that he will not even require his mom, he'll be completely independent. That time what I'm going to do, it's going to be a vacuum in my life, and I want to do something for myself.
Okay.
So what should I do?
Okay.
I started thinking, what should I do? Because I can see a couple of years down, and I will be just sitting and oh my God, it's a whole vacuum now.
So he grows up, he's on his own, and he's a grown-up man, and in his own world, and thinking in terms of pictures. And he's learning to communicate. Technology is available. Hopefully more research provides more insights and to stabilize some of the symptoms or better some of the symptoms, hopefully. Yes, and that is a good way to plan your future, that I do not want to be depressed. Now what do I do?
Yeah, so and I'm a very expressive person, so I wanted to express somewhere. So I did take up and I did become a nutritionist because I had attended so many courses.
Okay.
But then again, my expectation from myself, or so, and my instinct was telling me that something bigger written. There is something bigger I want to do. If I become a nutritionist, or I'll just have like 5 to 6 children sitting and in a day, but I want to help the masses. So that's why I took a jump that no, I want to become the founder and director, and I want to find it, and I want to build the small blocks.
What do you want your son to be? As you know him now, he is expressing through pictures. Do you see him doing something that would be inspirational?
He has, so I would like him to stick to his words, what he had said and what he wants to do. I would like him to be what he is and stand for himself, and be happy in the life with whatever, no matter what it is, and accept it every challenge. And again, one more thing I missed is that every mother at a subconscious, the reason we have got such a great hope from our child is because at our subconscious level, we have never ever felt that we have an abnormal child, or we don't have, or have child which is not normal.
Okay.
That is a very, very, very,
that's huge.
Very big
That's
thing.
huge.
Because I speak with so many mothers, and then they compare their typical children with the special need children, and they say, our special need children is this, but our typical children has given us a lot of happiness. So, like, how do you define your happiness?
Yes. Yes. Limited views.
Not everybody thinks like this.
Do you want to challenge him, or you think to challenge Akhil?
I don't think. I think he's to challenge me. Like, and I think God has decided this is a combination happens. That's what it is. Like, He decides what I'm going to do. So at the end of the day, if you have a problem in your life, problem is defined by you. We define the problem.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So because we have been taught like that.
Yes.
But what if that problem is a challenge, and you tell yourself that I am strong enough, and I believe in God, and I believe in myself, and I'm strong enough to take this challenge.
Stronger than the problem itself.
Yeah. So just shake hands. So we decided to shake hands with autism. And
That's such a wonderful
we
way
said, you're
to
not
say,
going to sit and cry.
you don't want to be defeated.
No. We don't want it to be the victim. No, we don't want you to play that game.
Yes. So tell me, what would be your message to the viewers? What would you like to share, if you could, in a sentence or two?
Thank God for giving a special need child. Second, make every day yourself like an extra super powerful person or parent that look into the mirror every day and say that I can take this. I can help this child.
Well, we all parents need that kind of superpower parent.
And then follow your extremely subconscious pure instinct and chase that. Write it down, maybe, and every day remind yourself. And don't take no as an answer for yourself. No, I want to find a way out.
That's a very inspiring way to say it. Manisha, I thank you so much coming here and sharing your story with our viewers.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, I am host Ritu Chopra.
Thank you so much.